What up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 Experience with myself, Thomas Mabaso.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. 2024 is just before us. As you look, it's just 2 months before 2024, which is the election season, and politicians are busy, hard at work. Service delivery is happening finally.
Aye, but guys, we really have to be honest, man. That is insulting. It's insulting the fact that these guys are only cleaning up our communities because they want people to vote for them. They don't clean up our communities because it is their duty. No. Right now, our townships have been cleaned. I can tell you that. Our townships have been cleaned. The sewages, man, they have been blocked. All of the illegal dumpings that are surrounding our townships, man, are being cleaned because they want people to vote for them. And people are going to fall for that. People are going to fall for that, man. This is the reason why I am so mad at black South Africans, man. I am so mad. I'm mad at our people. Our people are so gullible, man. Our people are easily fooled. The government, man, lets you sit there with your sewage and illegal dumping for years. And right before the elections, they come, they close that sewage, and they come and they clean that illegal dumping site. And before you even know it, people are singing the praises of the African National Congress. It's insulting. But that's not how people see it. People are fine with it, man. People are saying, oh, finally, they are cleaning up this mess. They don't even think about the fact that these illegal dumpings have been there for years. The fact that we have trucks right now that are cleaning all of this nonsense, the fact that we have these guys from the municipality, I didn't even know that our municipality had the guys who actually wear overalls and come to our neighborhoods to close up the sewages. I didn't know those people existed. But now all of these people are walking around in our townships, they are cleaning because it's election season. So what was the excuse from all of these years? What was the excuse of the African National Congress not to clean up our own neighborhoods? What was the excuse? It's insulting, man. It's insulting. This is the same thing that they do whenever the president is coming to a neighborhood, man. You know that when Ramaphosa is coming to your neighborhood, you will see that the service delivery is there, man. They will start to patch the potholes. They will start to clean up all the illegal dumpings. They will make sure that there are no sewages. It's an insult. And people fall for that. I'm so sick and tired, man, of our people, man. I'm sick and tired of our people.
And there are a lot of controversial statements that are being made. Moves are made, some good, some bad. This is in the name of saying that when 2024 comes, that big share, we want to be part of it. And we want to be part of making the coalition government, because it is not going to be that part of election where there is a straight winner. We are looking at coalition. So when you look at that, there are a lot of politicians that are making so controversial statements that sometimes when you sit, you wonder, what are these guys talking about? Let us look at some of the controversial moves or moves that have been made where you look at it and think like, this is a move that is for 2024. It is the only purpose for it is the election season. Let's look at this. Firstly, let us look at the leader of the Rhetoric Alliance, who is Gayton. Gayton has been speaking most time against illegal immigration. So the next video, many people are aligning with the message that he's trying to portray, because he's going at the Somalian shops and trying to look at the expired products. When he finds them, he takes them off the shelves. Please look at this.
Showroom.
This is your shop?
No, I was.
You're working here? Alright, what is this?
Guys, do you see that, man? These guys are selling everything. From purity, man. I wouldn't be surprised. These guys, they made this purity themselves. That's what these Somalis and the Bangladeshis are doing. They are making this counterfeit food themselves. Don't be fooled by the branding. The branding means nothing. They make up this stuff by themselves. And nothing has been done about that. 2 children have died in Soweto, man, after buying the snacks from these guys. And right now in the Free State, 2 children have died. A mother has lost 2 of her children after consuming the snacks that they bought from these guys, these Bangladeshis and these Somalis. And nothing has been done about that. Nothing. And you want to tell me that the ANC government doesn't hate black people? Man, the ANC government hates black people. The ANC government hates poor people more. If you are poor, they hate you more. These guys are making up their own food. These guys are selling expired food to our communities. Like, guys, do these guys even have the work permit? Like, do these guys even have the papers to have these shops? Are these guys even legally in South Africa? Those are the questions that have not been... The NC government hates us, man. Our people in the townships right now, they're getting sick. Children are dying. Guys, in the past 2 weeks, 4 children have died in South Africa. 4 children have died in South Africa. The president hasn't said nothing about the fact that in South Africa, left, right, and center, children are dying. And these 4 are the 4 that we know that got lucky and made it to the media. How about others, man? How many people have died after consuming this stuff, man? This is purity, guys. It's purity. Expired purity. Chances are made up purity. They made this purity themselves. And they are selling this stuff to our communities, man. And children are dying as a result of this. And nothing has been done. If you don't believe that the ANC government hates you, man, there's nothing. Like right now, guys, there's no hope. If you don't see, if you are black and you live in the townships and you don't see that the ANC government hates you, man, it's on you. It's on you, because these guys have been doing these things for years. For years, nothing has been done. As soon as South Africans start to rise up, they are called xenophobic. They are called xenophobic. Because the media doesn't want people who are in the country illegally to leave. Because those people are working for the corporate South Africa, and the corporate South Africa is paying them half the salary that they pay average South Africans. So having illegal immigrants in South Africa is actually beneficial to corporate South Africa. And this is why the media will always call people xenophobic whenever they try to do something like this. Even Julius Malema was called xenophobic when he went to that restaurant to try to see that, do we even have South African workers in this restaurant? Because there was an allegation that that particular restaurant was only hiring the people who come from Zimbabwe and Malawi and so forth. And Malema went there to check if this allegation is true. And Malema was called xenophobic. Why? Why is the media, man? Why is South African media protecting these guys? Why is the South African media protecting illegal immigrants in our townships? These guys are killing us left, right, and center, man. With this purity right here, you're gonna kill a couple of babies, and you have these guys who come from Nigeria and all of these countries. They are selling the drugs in our communities. Nothing has been done. If they are reported, they go to the police station. Tomorrow they are back doing what they please. Man, ANC hates people in this country, man. The ANC government hates South Africans. There's nothing anybody can do to convince me otherwise. The ANC government hates South Africans.
It's purity.
For babies?
Yeah.
Did you see the date here? Would you sell your child this?
No,
31 May 2021. 31 May 2021. The expiry date of this purity that this guy is selling to our communities, the expiry date is 31 May 2021.
It expired. Now answer me, would you sell your child? Would you make your child eat this? Yes or no? So you give your child old food?
no.
So why you give our children old food?
I don't know, I'm working. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
All this purity, guys. Check all the baby food must get out of the shop
whole
now.
aisle?
We'll close. Bring it. Take the whole aisle.
So it's sad, man, that Gayton Mackenzie went from fighting this fight. This was a good fight, I must say. It was a good fight. This thing of fighting these illegal guys, these illegal foreigners that are in the country doing as they please, it was a good fight. But it turns out that it was not appealing enough to the people. This is why today you see Gayton Mackenzie trying to pin black people against the colors. Gayton Mackenzie walks around telling people that the colored communities is being treated worse than the black community in South Africa. The ANC government is working for the black community. The ANC government is not working for the colored communities. It's a lie. The ANC government is working for no one. For no one. Everyone in this country, man, is crying. People are complaining. All races are complaining. And these guys know that, man, going to 2024, man, this whole thing of illegal foreigners and the Zama thing, man, it is not going to get me enough clout. So I need to go into that space of racism, because I know that in South Africa, man, everything is about race. So if you lean into racism a bit, then you will start to see things will happen.
So there are many people who feel like whatever Gayton McKenzie is doing, they align with that, because many people feel like health inspectors that are under the government of the ANC are not really going to these places, and if they go there, they take bribes instead of making sure that those products that have expired are not at those shops. And the surprising thing is that Gayton is asking these guys that, would you consume this thing that you are selling purity for babies that has expired long time and is still on the shelf, selling it? And when he asked him, would you consume this, or would you let your baby consume this, the guy does not accept or agree that he can consume that, which states that they care about money but not the health of the people.
Yes.
So when you look at a voter who's looking to get service delivery in their places, and they see what Gayton is doing, many people feel like, well, Gayton is really representing us, so we really need to understand and look to vote for him, because this guy cares about the people of South Africa. So after making such a positive move by going to the Somalian shop and removing those expired items, moments...
Join Discovery Insure and get college.
Man, Gayton McKenzie. But I think the guy is simply playing like South African politics, man. I think he knows that in South Africa, man, you have to make everything about race. The ANC has already started making everything about race. They are talking about apartheid. They are talking about white people. Man, I don't even want to talk about Malema and the EFF. Malema and the EFF, you know, the party was legit, made on was formed on hate. So Malema and the EFF guys, I don't even want to talk about them. So Gayton McKenzie knows that in South Africa, man, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you don't involve race, man, nothing works. Nothing works. Gayton McKenzie will be able to implement these policies that he's pushing for after he has gaslighted South Africans with racism. That's how politics works in South Africa, man. You gaslight people with racism, you get into office, then you can implement your policies. But you will never get in office, man.
Sometime later, he goes on stage and compares black people and colored people treatment by the government. Please listen to this video.
The difference between AKA and Mampincha is this one is colored and this one is black. And they always help the black and they never help the colored.
Exactly. That's how to win votes in South Africa. That's how you win votes in South Africa. You don't win votes in South Africa by outlining your policies. Policies, service delivery. South Africans don't care about the policies and service delivery. South Africans care about the race. And I think politicians are smart, man. They understand that South Africa is the most diverse country in the world. And they play into that. It's easier for them to divide us, because we are so it's easier, man, for politicians to divide us. It's easy because they know that we are a diverse country, and being diverse, man, we don't know each other in this country. I don't know, guys, I'm going to say this a million times. South Africans don't know each other. We know each other through the lens of the media. We don't know each other in this country. We know each other through the lens of the media, and we know each other through the rhetoric of the politicians. We don't know each other in South Africa. So it's easy for these guys to come and divide us, because as long as we are divided in this country, more chances for them to rule. If South Africans come together, man, there will be no need for us to have all of these guys that you are seeing on your screen. If South Africans come together, man, there will be no need for us to have all of these political parties and politicians. The only job of the politicians in this country, man, is to make sure that South Africans are divided. so that we can rule over them.
I mean, some statements do not need to be said until you have full information. On this part, I think is very misinformed because he's comparing the treatment that Mampincha from KZN, who's a black artist, received when he died because the government of KZN decided to offer money to help in the burial of this artist. On the other hand, AKA, who stayed in Gauteng, when he got shot and died, the government of Johannesburg, the Gauteng government, decided that they are going to offer their hand in helping with money for the burial of AKA. But the family of AKA said that they denied, they refused receiving that offer, saying that they are going to be taking care of that burial themselves and are not going to be taking the handouts of the government. But when you see that here's a politician who goes on stage looking for voters and he says that there is a very different treatment of blacks and colors by the government. And the people who look at that are going to be saying, this guy is not going to be bringing everyone together. He's in fact going to be bringing tribalism into politics and dividing people. So how am I going to give a vote to such a person? So from Gayton Mackenzie, along comes the former Chief Justice Mogoeng, saying that he believes that he's going to be the next president of South Africa. He adds that he believes that this is going to happen, God's willing, and he says that it is about time God intervenes in the country, in the politics of South Africa, and he appoints the best person who's going to lead South Africa, and he believes that person is going to be Mogoeng. I'm sitting here thinking that somebody should speak to Mogoeng about politics and that it is not child's play. Once you enter the battlefield, you are not going to be the same former Chief Justice that we knew.
Yes, the Christian former Chief Justice that we know, man. The politics is dirty, man. Politics is dirty, but guys, we have to be honest, man. When it comes to this whole thing of Mkhwebane, it's just that Mkhwebane doesn't want to join any political party, doesn't want to form any political party. But guys, we really have to be honest, man. This guy would make an amazing president. Mkhwebane would make an amazing president, man. I know that he said that his presidency, man, is going to be miraculous. He doesn't even have to form a political party. He doesn't even have to join a political party. But God is going to appoint him to be the president of this country, man. That would be the best thing to ever happen to South Africa. We need someone like Mkhwebane, someone who has no political ties with anybody, someone who simply wants to fix this country. These are the kind of leaders that we need, man. We need Mkhwebane. I'm begging that, man. I hope God comes through for Mkhwebane, man. I hope God comes through for South Africans. Because politics and politicians have failed us. We have to be honest about that. Politics and politicians have failed South Africa. South Africa will never be fixed by a politician. We need someone like Mkhwebane, someone who has no ties to any political party. Someone who is only interested in fixing this country. Having this guy as a president, man, that would be the best thing ever. I'm telling you.
You are going to lose all the relevance when you enter politics. I believe that the legacy of Chief Justice is a good one. And once he enters politics, people are going to forget about that. If really there were a lot of people who felt like, well, there's going to be a change made in the politics. There will be a new president who's going to lead us and he's going to have all this religious faith. It could have happened a long time ago with Rev Mishwe. He failed to make an impact. Lucky for him, he's still in parliament. So what brings it to the former Chief Justice what tells him that...
But Reverend Mishwe, man, is compromised, man. That guy from ACDP, that guy is compromised. I don't want that guy anywhere near the union building. Reverend Mishwe must stay wherever he is. He must stay there. Reverend Mishwe and ACDP must stay in their corner. Wherever they are, they must stay there and sit tight. I don't want that guy. I don't want Reverend Mishwe anywhere near union buildings. I don't want that guy near union buildings. Guy, man, that guy is terrible. It's terrible.
He's going to be made a change and he's the new leader. He's that selected leader who's going to bring South Africa from underground where it is and bring it on top of the ground, which is going to be better for everyone. I feel like those are dreams. South African politics are very dangerous. That is why there are a lot of political parties, because everyone wants a share of the meat. So you cannot come into the politics after you just had a long successful run in the judiciary and think that you are going to change and tell people that, well, it's about time.
You are going to see people across, different people, disability, people living with albinism.
It's Mkhwebane.
All people, and all South Africans, black, white, Indian.
Man, you know, when it comes to Mkhwebane, man, Mkhwebane should have joined the EFF. Mkhwebane should have joined the EFF, man. This whole thing of him and his new political party, it is not going to work. People have already forgotten about Mkhwebane. And I know that he's saying that he's going to win the Free State. But he's not. He's not. People still when people look at Mkhwebane, man, we still see that comrade from the African National Congress. We still see that thug from the African National Congress. There is nothing that Mkhwebane can do right now. There is absolutely nothing that Mkhwebane can do to make people think otherwise, man. Whenever people see Mkhwebane, they will always see that ANC cadre, man. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. So opening up his own new political party, man, it serves no purpose. It is not going to win. It is going to fail. The best thing that Mkhwebane should have made, maybe was to join the EFF, or maybe go to with Kalnias and to try to resurrect that African radical economic transformation movement nonsense of theirs. But opening up his own political party, it is not going to work. But it's clear, man, you hear what my brother is saying. Everyone wants the piece of a pie. Everyone wants the piece of a pie because they know that in South Africa it is possible. It's possible, guys. All of these guys that you saw on your screen, man, chances are you will see these guys in parliament next year. Because South Africans are divided, man. It's only a matter of time before Mkhwebane starts talking about apartheid and racism and so forth. Like, it's only a matter of time.
Colored, whatever you may call them. There has been a bitter struggle inside the African National Congress for its soul. There have been contradictions over the years for the hegemony of progressive ideas within the ANC. Certainly, we have seen the oldest organization moving fast towards the right and abandoning its center-left position. The struggle for the soul of the ANC has witnessed the systematic marginalization of forces to the left. Winnie Mandela was sidelined because I stayed here in Orlando. When I trained in the underground, the first time I knew how to handle an AK-47 was at Winnie Mandela's house here. My commanders were coming from here, Shawela, Kloof.
Hey, these guys, they like to talk about their political like, these guys did nothing for South Africa, man. They did nothing. I'm sick and tired, man, of these ANC guys going around saying that they are the ones who liberated South Africa. Man, South Africa was liberated by average South Africans, man. South Africa was never liberated by these guys of the African National Congress. Most of them were in exile, while the average South Africans were being killed by the oppressive apartheid government. Then these guys come back to say that they liberated South Africa. How? How did you liberate South Africa when 90% of your time you guys were outside of this country? Average South Africans were being slaughtered. Average South Africans are the ones that were being slaughtered. Average South Africans are the ones that were fighting hand to hand against this oppressive government, against this oppressive apartheid government. Then you have these guys coming here telling us that they're the ones who liberated South Africa. These guys are lying, man. They're lying. These guys didn't liberate South Africa. Average South Africans, from white, Indians, and black, all of them. I know that there were white people that hated apartheid. And this is something that is not talked about. There are white people who hated apartheid. Indians who hated apartheid. Black people who hated apartheid. These guys, all of them, were being slaughtered. Then you have these ANC guys telling us that the country was liberated by the African National Congress. If it wasn't for the African National Congress, we wouldn't be here. These guys, they don't talk about the sacrifices that were made by average South Africans. What about those? They don't rename the streets after the average South Africans that were slaughtered in apartheid. They don't name the streets, the buildings, nothing after them. I'm sick and tired of these guys, man.
Free State, Gauteng. Grace Hani was killed in cold blood. Julius Malema was expelled for demanding the return of the land. Jacob Zuma was hunted down like a dog for fighting white monopoly capital.
Man, what did Jacob Zuma fight for? What did Jacob Zuma fight for?
A new cadre, ANC cadre that is endorsed by the DA, a neoliberal handlers has emerged. The sacrifices of our people who went to exile and those who died in the apartheid gallows must never be in vain. Our people who fought for freedom in South Africa and outside South Africa must not, their struggles and their sacrifices must never be in vain. There are two objectives why this party is going to exist. One objective today we are
these guys, man, these guys are hopeless, man. 2 minutes, guys. It's funny, man. You know, every time when I hear these guys, especially these guys who come from the ANC, man, they always credit themselves for South Africa being where it is today. They don't want to talk about the struggles of an average South African. What about those? They don't even name the streets after the average South Africans. They don't name the buildings after average South Africans. But we are supposed to sit here and believe that the ANC and the Ismail of today are the ones who liberated South Africa from the oppressive system of apartheid. Man, I would be a fool to believe that, man. I know that, man, average South Africans are the ones who fought for this country. Average South Africans are the ones who fought for this country. Not these guys. These guys, they can tell you that, man, we were there in exile. But they still come back to tell you that we are the ones who liberated you. How? When you were in exile, how? How? Because even if we have to compare the death rates, man, how many comrades died and how many average South Africans died in apartheid? Let's compare the death rates. How many average South Africans died and how many comrades died in apartheid? Only for these guys to come here and start telling us that they are the ones who fought for freedom in this country, man. Man, I would be a fool to believe these guys, man. I'm telling you, I would be a fool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just fixing my connection, man. My router was just giving me a bit of problems. I would be a fool to believe these guys. I would. This is why today, man, it is so easy for these guys to come and gaslight South Africans about racism. It is easy for them to gaslight South Africans about racism. Because they are exploiting the history of this country. They are exploiting. No, they are not exploiting it. They are actually taking advantage of the history of this country. Going around, man, reminding the people of the painful past of this country. That's what they are doing. They are reminding the people of this country about the painful past of this country. Guys, the only reason that South Africa has not moved forward, it is because of politicians. Politicians are not going to allow South Africans to move forward. Politicians are not going to tell you about the countries, man, that faced the similar struggles that we faced. Politicians are not going to tell you about the fact that Japan was hit with a nuclear bomb. But today, Japan is one of the most successful countries in the world. Politicians are not going to tell you about Rwanda. Politicians are not going to tell you about the fact that Rwanda survived as genocide. But today, Rwanda is one of the most successful countries in Africa. These are the stories that we need to hear as South Africans, so that we can say that, okay guys, apartheid happened, fine, it happened. But we're not going to sit there and cry about something that had happened 30 years back. It happened, it's fine. It's part of our history. We cannot sit here and relive that every election cycle, man. I'm sick and tired of these guys and the games that they are playing that with South Africans' lives. I'm sick and tired of them. If these guys really cared about South Africans, man, they would go out there and make examples about these countries, man. These countries who've come. Guys, you know that we are not the first country, man, to have experienced horror. We are not the first country, man. What about those countries that fought in the World War I and World War IIs? What about those countries? Those countries today, they exist. And most of them are first world countries. As much as they acknowledged what happened there in World War I and World War II. But they're not obsessed about it. They're not sitting there saying that our country cannot move forward because of World War I. That's not what they're saying. They're not saying that. But in South Africa today, you have these politicians going around telling South Africans that this country is not moving forward because of apartheid. So how long are we going to sit and listen to this story of apartheid? How long? Honestly, guys, how long are we going to sit around and listen to this story of apartheid? How long are we going to be told about, how long are we going to sit here and allow politicians to tell us about apartheid? How long? Nah, guys, man. No, man. No. I'm coming, guys. How long? These guys, they don't want to tell us about any success story, man. They want us to sit back and think about apartheid and continue thinking about apartheid and actually believing that things are the way they are in South Africa today because of apartheid. This is the same thing that the President Ramaphosa said. President Ramaphosa once said that there is no capacity in the government because the apartheid government didn't produce enough town planners, enough engineers and enough CFOs. Man, what kind of an insult is that, man? Knowing exactly that in South Africa right now, we have the highest unemployment rate, man. A lot of people in this country, man, are qualified. They are sitting at home doing nothing. Then you have these politicians, man. You are supposed to believe these politicians when they tell you that your life is where it is today is because of apartheid. It's not because of us. Mkhwebane walks around as if he was not the member of the African National Congress. He acts like he was not the member of the African National Congress. If you didn't know Mkhwebane, man, you wouldn't think that Mkhwebane was there in the executive of the African National Congress. What did he do? Nothing. What did he do? Nothing. And these guys, they have an audacity to come around telling South Africans that stop telling us about this struggle of yours, man. Tell us about how we can move forward as a country. When are we going to hear the solutions from these politicians, man? When? Come on. When are we going to hear solutions, man? Do you think that the people in Japan, man, they still talk about... Of course, they still talk about the fact that their country has experienced but that's not where they are today. That's not where they are today. That's not where the Japanese are today. That's not where the people of Rwanda are today. They acknowledge their history, but that's not where they are today. But in South Africa, no, you have to sit there. You have to sit there and you have to understand that everything that has happened is because of apartheid, man. Nothing. You can't say nothing. in this country. No, guys, man, we really need to, we deserve better, man. As South Africans, we deserve better, guys. I'm telling you, we deserve better. We deserve better, man. We don't deserve these politicians, man. These politicians are doing nothing for us. We deserve better, man. I'm sick and tired of these guys every day telling us about apartheid, reminding us about all of these stories, telling us about these apartheid stories. Man, we don't care, man. Today we have 60% of unemployment. 60% of young people in this country are unemployed. They're not working. We don't care about the fact that you were fighting alongside Chris Hani and what. We don't care about that. I'm sorry to tell you, we don't. We don't. We don't care. Stop telling us about your stop telling us about these things that you guys did in apartheid. They're serving us no purpose. There's nothing that we are gaining from you guys telling us about these apartheid stories, man. This is why I will always, like, guys, you see the SABC, SABC one day, man, they will tell the truth. SABC one day, they will tell the truth. The nonsense that these guys, they always do whenever it's election season. Before you know it, man, on your television, man, you will see those apartheid documentaries, you will see those apartheid movies, you know, just to make people angry a bit. They don't want you to go to the polls thinking about the policies. They don't want that. You are not supposed to go to the polls thinking about the policies or thinking about how these guys have actually fucked up your life. You know, you're not supposed to think about that. You're supposed to go to the policies you're supposed to go to the polls thinking that, man, we cannot allow a white man to be the president of this country. This is why right now, when people talk about the Democratic Alliance, the first thing that people talk about, are we ready for a white president? Man, people don't care about the policies of the Democratic Alliance. They don't care how good the policies of the Democratic Alliance sound. They don't care about that. They care about the fact that the leader of the Democratic Alliance today is a white man and we cannot vote for a white man. That's where South Africa it is today. It's shameful, man. What these guys have done to this country, man, it is shameful. So me personally, guys, I'm not going to listen to these guys. Honestly, I'm not going to do that. I love myself, guys. I love this country and I love myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to listen to these politicians when they try to gaslight me. No, I'm not going to do that.
In the underground, the first time I knew how to handle an AK-47 was at Winnie Mandela's house here. My commanders were coming from here. Shawela, Ipkloof, Free State, Gauteng. Chris Hani was killed in cold blood. Julius Malema was expelled for demanding the return of the land. Jacob Zuma was hunted down like a dog for fighting white monopoly capital.
How did Jacob Zuma fight white monopoly capital? How?
A new cadre, ANC cadre, that is endorsed by the DA, a neoliberal handlers, has emerged. The sacrifices of our people who went to exile and those who died in the apartheid gallows must never be in vain.
Guys, Ismail is going to apply the same methods, man. Ismail is going to apply the same methods that the African National Congress is applying. It's not going to be different from the African National Congress. This is why Gayton Mackenzie is going to the issue of race. You cannot win the votes in this country, man, on policy. You can't do that. You cannot.
Because that anyone can open a political party and ask for votes. But there are people who are opening political party asking for votes and to gather the funds to register their political parties or to be able to campaign to get votes. They are going to do a lot of things, such as selling t-shirts for 40 rands instead of giving them away to the people so that those people can receive the t-shirts. You know, one thing that the ANC always comes right is that they always offer free t-shirts to the people. And that t-shirts on its own, it's free marketing. Even if a person is looking to vote and they're not sure, once they see that t-shirt, something comes in their mind, they end up making a cross on ANC. But there's Ace Magashule with his new party, decided to form a party. The only time I've heard of Ace Magashule was when he launched his party, and next thing he was on a McG podcast. That's when I saw him. But since then, we haven't heard a lot of things about the new party of Ace Magashule.
Because there's nothing that Ace Magashule can offer to South Africans. Nothing. There's nothing that Magashule can offer to South Africans. This guy was a Secretary General of the African National Congress. What did he do? What are his accomplishments as the Secretary General of the African National Congress? There's nothing that Ace Magashule can offer to South Africans. Nothing. And I hope that South Africans are not stupid to see, are not gullible enough. There's nothing that this guy can offer to us. Nothing.
Well, I see they're selling T-shirts for 40 rands. But what are you doing in order to say that the people of South Africa, I'm here to gather those votes? And if you are not doing anything of now, just know that if you are going to be starting to make any move in 2024, January, February, that is going to be late. Because what you need to do as a new baby is to make sure that your impact is felt.
We didn't fight Mbeki. We are not even fighting with Mbeki. Thabo Mbeki goes around saying whatever that he wants to say, but we are not fighting with him. You know, Fikile Mbalula is actually angry because Thabo Mbeki said that ANC has failed to renew itself. Fikile Mbalula is sour about that. And it's true, the ANC has failed to renew itself. In 2019, when Ramaphosa assumed power, he said that the ANC is going to renew itself. That is the policy that Ramaphosa pushed forward. That is the lie that Ramaphosa told the South Africans, that the ANC is going to renew itself. 4 years down the line, the ANC hasn't done shit when it comes to renewing itself. Now Thabo Mbeki is saying, no guys, you said that you are going to renew yourself. You have failed to renew yourself. Fikile Mbalula is crying now. Why are you crying? Because you guys said that you are going to renew yourself. You said that you are going to get rid of the bad apples in the African National Congress. One of the things that Ramaphosa said when he assumed power is that he's going to strengthen the NPA so that they can deal with corruption. 4 years down the line, Fikile Mbalula was questioned about this thing of the NPA. And he's saying that the African National Congress is still strengthening the NPA. In 4 years. These guys have been strengthening the NPA for 4 years. When Ramaphosa assumed power in 2019. You remember Shamila Batoyi, man. Where is Shamila Batoyi? What has Shamila Batoyi done? These guys haven't done anything. Ramaphosa said that we are going to get rid of these corrupt cadres, man. We are strengthening the NPA. 4 years down the line, the ANC today, they are still talking about strengthening the NPA. It simply tells you how unserious these guys are. These guys are not serious with life, man. Now you have Fikile Mbalula going around crying because Thabo Mbeki is pointing the obvious. You can see when someone is old, they go back to being a young kid and they say whatever that they want. Right now, Mbalula is insinuating that Mbeki is saying all of these things because Mbeki is old and Mbeki doesn't know what he's saying. Mbalula himself is saying that Mbeki is old, Mbeki doesn't know what he's saying. But I don't know who is Mbalula fooling, because we know that Mbeki is pointing out the obvious things. You guys said that you are going to deal with corruption. You failed to deal with corruption. You guys said that you are going to clean the image of the ANC. You failed to clean the image of the ANC. And Mbeki is pointing at those things. And these guys are going around crying and moping around. I don't know who is Fikile Mbalula fooling. He's not fooling us. Maybe he's fooling the loyal base of the African National Congress, but he's not fooling us. Because we know that what Thabo Mbeki is saying is true. Don't be harsh of him. Don't be harsh on Thabo Mbeki, even when he says things that are not there. It's okay. These guys are old. we let them say whatever that they want to say. So Fikile Mbalula is not happy. He's not happy.
Another person who is a danger to his political party is the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula of the ANC. Fikile Mbalula says a lot of things, and sometimes he ends up insulting his own members.
Yes.
The same he has done about Thabo Mbeki. Fikile says a lot of things, and most times he needs someone to say that, man, calm down. We are not voting tomorrow, calm down. Because he continues to say all these things, and maybe they are thinking that once they are trending #1 on social media, it means that they are gathering more voters. People are laughing at the ANC. People are laughing at the kind of leadership that goes there just to look and speak about its own members. And sometimes if they are speaking about general things that are happening in South Africa, they speak things that don't make sense, and that leaves the voters of South Africa wondering whether they should be voting for the ANC or whether they should abandon the mission of voting for them, because what Fikile Mbalula is doing, it is not a justice to the ANC. If they really think that he is making any improvement to the image of ANC, they must think again, because this man is not making any good thing. The only thing he does is to taint that little percentage of respect people had for the ANC.
Fact.
We can't even speak about the president of the ANC because there's nothing positive to say about him.
Fact.
So the solution was that let us put Fikile Mbalula so that he can be the mouthpiece of the ANC. Oh boy, did they make a mistake, because that mouthpiece is missing some sense. Speaking every time, speaking senseless things, and at the end of the day, it might cost the ANC their needed votes by speaking too much.
I fight up Busisiwe Joyce Mkhwebane.
Fight up Busisiwe Joyce Mkhwebane. Then Mkhwebane. Jeez.
Mkhwebane solemnly declare that I will abide by the aims, objectives, and radical policies of economic freedom fighters as set out in the Constitution of the EFF. I voluntarily joined the EFF without any motive of personal gain.
Stop lying, man. You are joining you have joined the EFF because the ANC and the DA did you bad. The ANC and the DA, they colluded and kicked you out as the public protector. They gave you the worst record ever, man. People are going to, like, 100 years down the line, people are going to read about you, that you are the first impeached public protector in South African history. That is what the ANC and the DA has done to you. Now you are running to the EFF, hoping that maybe you can pay revenge to the ANC and the DA. Your only reason for joining the EFF was to pay revenge to the ANC and the DA. Nothing less, nothing more. You are not a fighter. You don't have a constituent. Because I was like, I saw people. Man, there's nothing that Busisiwe Mkhwebane is bringing to the EFF. Nothing. Nothing. You know Busisiwe Mkhwebane, man, she's an advocate. It's fine. It's fine if Busisiwe can work there in the EFF, in the offices there in the EFF. But there's nothing that they are going to gain. They're not going to gain any votes from having Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Busisiwe Mkhwebane doesn't even have the constituents. Nothing. You are just a disgruntled member, man. You are one of those disgruntled members.
All material benefit, and understand that I am not entitled to any position or deployment. I will participate in the life of the economic freedom fighters to strive towards total emancipation of South Africa, Africa, and the oppressed of the world, and will do so as a loyal, active, and disciplined economic freedom fighter.
Guys, we are in trouble, man. You can see all of these guys, man, except for Mogoeng, all of these guys. We are in trouble, man. This is the kind of leadership that we have in South Africa. We are in deep trouble in South Africa, guys. I'm telling you. Tell me about Busisiwe Mkhwebane, man. Get the hell out. Busiswa Mkhwebane, man, when did Busiswa Mkhwebane give a damn about the land and about expropriating land? When did Busiswa Mkhwebane give a damn about expropriation of land without compensation? Busiswa Mkhwebane said nothing when Ace Magashule and his friend, man, chowed the government money there in Vrede. She said nothing. And today we are supposed to believe that Busiswa Mkhwebane is an angel from heaven coming to save South Africa. You said nothing. You didn't even prosecute Ace Magashule. Did you even investigate Ace Magashule and his friend there at the Vrede farm? Nothing. You didn't do that. But today we're supposed to believe that Busiswa Mkhwebane, it's manna from heaven. Everything's going to be good. Guys, we are in trouble, man. South Africa is in trouble. We don't have leaders in South Africa. That's what I'm saying. I played this video, guys, simply to show you that in South Africa now, we don't have leaders. The people of this country, we are on our own. That's what I can tell you, man. What are your thoughts, guys? Please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.